What's up, YouTube? Georgia Silver Hunter back, and I wanted to do this quick little video to go over some of the crazy things I've run across this week while I was going to my banks trying to pick up some coin. Everything you see here in front of you, we're going to go through really quickly, so let's jump into it. So first things first, I know these are a little tough to see with my lighting, but these were actually found in a hunt that I released this week. I came across 4 really nice 2014 Denver half dollars, and 3 or 4 of you in the community pointed out this is likely the high relief version of this and was pulled out of a special like anniversary set. And I had actually hung on to all these and popped them into my albums to replace kind of cruddier 2014s, but I've recently popped them all back out and flipped them up. Here's just 2 of them in front of you. But my own little research online, I tend to also agree these are the high relief. It's a totally different finish, lots of hair detail. There are some circulation marks on here, so I don't think these would get like top dollar if I were trying to sell them, which I'm not, but I do now have 4 of them, only 2 here for you to see. The next thing, I did swing by a bank on Friday and asked if they had any half dollars in the tray, and my teller had 2, and it produced 1 1967 40%er, so it's always worth also asking your teller to have a quick look in the tray. Secondly, and I just did a community post about this, but wanted to go through it, I was grocery shopping at my local Kroger. They have a Fifth Third bank there in the Kroger, and I asked them if they have any half dollars, which they never, ever have. And there was a new teller there, and he said, actually, a guy came in yesterday and dropped these off. They looked shiny. I had told him they're probably worth more than face value, but the guy said it was okay. He just needed the money. So he gave them to the teller. Teller showed them to me today, and I heard it when he was picking them up. So I was like, I'll take them all. Now, I've already sorted through these to make it easier to go through them with you. But just to look at the edges, this is what we pulled at $6.50. We had a handful of copper clad and a whole bunch of silver. And let's just go through those really quickly. So, the clad will go through 1983, 1991, 1980, and a bicentennial. So no big deal. But we did come away with a 1969, a second 1969. Looks like we had 2 1968s. I think 4 of these last ones were all 1967s. And that last cruddy one was a 1967, and we did also pull 1 1966. So all in all this week, out of teller trays, we were able to come away with 10 40% silver half dollars without having to hunt through entire boxes. So I got incredibly fortunate, and at today's spot price, this is about $72 worth of silver, give or take. Spot's been a little bit on the decline. It was up over 54. I think last I looked, it was like 52 or 51 and a half or 52 and a half, something like that. It was up there. So very cool just to pull out of a teller tray. And last but not least, at my Wells Fargo drop-off yesterday, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit here, I'm going to ask the community for some help here. I'm not a big bill person. I typically try to find blue silver certificates and the red, like old Federal Reserve notes. And then anything that's old, if it looks kind of interesting or it's a really old date, I'll just go ahead and ask them to throw it in as part of my change. And I was able to get all of these, and there's one or at least one that I think might be interesting. So again, if you see anything on these bills as I show them to you that I need to be paying attention to, let me know. But this was a 1963A, nothing special about the serial number, but this bill is in tremendously good condition considering how old it is. I'll kind of turn it here a little bit so you guys can see. I don't see any folds, no creases. This is in excellent condition maybe not based on grading. In my opinion, it's in excellent condition. 1963 A $50 bill. We don't even have any bent corners. Well, maybe a little creased corner over there. Then we had a 1969 $50 bill. We were 1 digit away from it being a trinary. Had that 6 not shown up, we would have had nothing but 0s, 3s, and 5s, which would have been pretty darn cool. This guy, again, we got some dog-eared corners. They're not too bad. And we've got some light creases here. It doesn't look like it was, it doesn't look like it was completely folded and stored away, but it does have, like I can do that just to show you. There's kind of a partial crease right through there. But again, very, very nice looking bill in my opinion. And it is old, right? What did I say? 1969. So very cool. We got another 1969 over here. Nothing too special about the serial number other than it starts with a 0. Again, very nice bill. We've got a crease that goes through here, but it doesn't look like it was traditionally folded and put in a wallet. Again, I think it turned out to be a pretty nice looking bill. And here's a 1969A. This is probably the roughest of the $50 bills. You can see bent corners. We've got some creases. The paper's a little bit rough back here, but 1969A. And we've also got some torn edges down here. So if I were just to give one of these bills back really quickly, it would probably be this one, unless there's an error or something on here that I am missing. Uh, 1985, not too old, lots of creases in it. It was just older looking. It was the old style in green, so I kept it. Nothing special. We do have creases both ways. Not expecting a lot of value here, but it was cool that it was an older bill. And then we get into the fun stuff here. We got a 1963A $20 bill. It is stamped Toledo Trust, January 10th. Maybe WG down here. I don't know if there's any significance to that. Again, very close to us having kind of a trinary in here. We got 4s, 5s, 0s, 1 and 3. So that 1 and 3 kind of did us in. But we do have 4 4s, so kind of a neat serial number, along with this being whatever this number stands for. I forget. Maybe it came from the 4th Federal Reserve Bank. But again, a nice older bill. Little dog-eared corners. And it looks like we do have at least a crease in the middle. A very, very nice bill. And the last one I think is the most interesting. It's also probably close to the worst shape. The first thing that I notice is that it looks like it's miscut. I was talking to Chris Kubal, and he was saying he didn't think it was miscut enough to be considered an error. I was looking on Reddit. I think according to some of the grading scales, this is a far enough miscut that it's considered a minor error. But again, for those of you in the crowd that are better at bills than I, let me know. It's a 1950B. We have some creasing. It's in decent condition, considering it is from 1950, so it's 75 years old this year. And what also kind of surprised me on the back is it's only slightly off-center in the back. And the other interesting thing is that this was printed before it was required to have "In God We Trust" on it. So you'll see in the which one was this one? This was the 1963. We have "In God We Trust" in the back. And on this guy, it's missing. So it was not required to be printed on the bill in 1950. So I thought this was really neat. Now, I looked this up on eBay, and I did see people with 1950As and 1950Bs that looked very, very similar cut to this. They were selling anywhere from, on the low end, about $36, and I saw somebody on the high end at about $150. So obviously, I'm hoping you guys in the crowd can tell me, am I sitting on a $35 bill or a $100 bill or a $150 bill in this guy right here? Again, knowing there's no sharp creases, maybe in the center, it might be tough to see. And it's not a perfect bill here, but considering it's 75 years old, I mean, I'll take it. If I were to hang on to any single bill out of that bunch, it would probably be this one. So it was kind of a crazy week with easy pickups from the bank. So that's all the stuff that I wanted to talk about and show you. Again, any help or comments that you have, I'd love to hear them in the comments down below. Any help you can give me on these bills would be great. I know typically I like to educate you guys, but I'm also smart enough to know I don't have hours and hours to pour into bills right now, so I would rather send it to you guys and see what you think. So I'll hang on to all these bills at least for a little while, just in case I've got a gem here. Let me know in the comments down below. I'd really, really appreciate it. So anyway, if you enjoyed this one, let me know. Just leave me a comment, click that like button, make sure others see it. If you're new to the channel, make sure you click on that subscribe button. Then click on that little bell and select all so you get notified anytime I release a new video. I'd appreciate it. With that, we're going to clear this off, and I've got a bunch of coins that I picked up on Friday, and today is Saturday. to get through. We've got a box of dimes. We've got a bunch of customer wrap stuff. I've got a box of pennies. Got a lot to get through. I got to sit down and figure out what order I'm going to do it in, but I'm excited to do it. Also, I forgot to mention, special shout out to you channel members. Thank you guys for supporting the channel each and every month. I really appreciate it. So with that, you guys take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.